Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to draw a cute squirrel. We're going to start with the head, and as with all things that's cute, we tend to make the head very big in relation to the body. So we're going to have a pretty big head, small body, big eyes. Okay, let's get started. For the head, I'm using lately I've been favoring this black pencil, it's called charcoal pencil. But you can use any pencil or Sharpie if you want. So I'm going to start with basically a round shaped head. Now you can, if you're not sure about the size, you can roughly draw a circle first. I'm kind of dived this into it, and I'm making certain part a little bit angular because sometimes you don't have to make everything smooth and round for a drawing to look good. So for example, I'm leaving some space here for the ear and some space here for the other ear. I just want to put the head on the paper first. Maybe I position the head a little bit too low. Hopefully it'll be okay. And it's gonna come down here. It's gonna be this shape for the head. I wonder if there's enough room for the body. I'm pretty sure there is. So this will be, I guess, where the body could be. I'm gonna make it just sitting on the ground. Okay. So this is kind of a weird way to start, but this is one way to start, and I always try to start my drawings in different ways so you guys can see that you're not limited by the process of drawing. So let me just fill in the ear here so you can kind of get an idea of what it looks like, or should I say what it looks like in the in this drawing. You obviously know what it looks like, what the ear looks like. This is kind of this way, and if you want, you can make the shapes a little bit smoother. For this drawing, I've been using a little bit of more straight lines here and there, but that kind of opens up like that, the ears. And we're gonna have two little arms, and maybe two hands holding. One eye here and one eye here. Let's make the eye really big. You can definitely get away with, especially with the head this big, you can definitely get away with making the eye super big. Like an anime. This eye, because it's a round curvature, right? So this eye is going to be much skinnier. Lately I've been doing a lot of drawings that's kind of I think it uses concepts that's maybe a little bit more experienced, advanced. That's the word. So I don't know if that's too much, you know, for the viewers or not, especially the ones who wants to learn. So you have to let me know. I'm just putting some spotlight. And if you look at a squirrel, right, their eyes are generally pitch black. So we want to maintain that characteristic. We don't want to create like iris, maybe, you know, with a white in eye. We want to keep that part, the characteristic, as you know, according to real life. So even though sometimes the joints can exaggerate certain features, you still want the key traits of an animal to be what it is. Like if you draw a horse, unless you draw a very cartoony horse, that's my pencil sharpener. Unless you're drawing a very cartoony horse, typically the eyes is like pitch black if you look at a horse. So depending on what style you're going for, you can construct your drawing in ways that's more realistic or less realistic. This one, I'm making the eyes pitch black to make that part at least a little bit more realistic. And the mouth is just a little triangle thing. It comes down and with shape like that. It's kind of like still that W shape. So when I did the initial line, technically should be like this, going across. I'll keep the line there for a little bit. If you can see it on the screen, it's like a guideline. Okay. Alright, that looks pretty cute. I mean, I think it has the potential to be, because the eye is not filled in yet, so it doesn't quite shine yet. But let's see. I want to put the arms in first. So this will be one of the arms, and then the hands. You can just draw 3 little shapes like this for the little fingers. Maybe he's holding something. I don't know what he's holding. Maybe I should draw a walnut or something, a biscuit. I just draw a little round shape because I'm not sure what he's holding. And you can see now that he's now holding something in his hand. Maybe it's food. Well, I'm pretty sure it is food. So in terms of construction, our drawing is constructed. So now it just comes down to adding some details, coloring it in. And most people don't believe it, but this part here, to get from 0 to this part, is actually always the most difficult part. So I'm just gonna color the eye in, and like I said before, I'm just gonna get it pitch black. Not pitch black, but I'm gonna just fill in with black. And if you have a brown pencil, it's probably, do I have brown pencil? Maybe I should just use brown to color it in. Yeah, I have a little bit of brown pencil here, so I might do some shading, light shading with. You see how when the eyes is filled in, suddenly just it really stands out. And I'll smudge this a little bit. Let me put the music back on. Okay. Alright, there we go. And let me think about the nose. If you really want to color this in, we will need a little bit of pink or red for the nose, but I don't want to make this too complicated, so I'll stick with just maybe just a little brown and red. So now let me just do some shading. You don't have to be too precise about this. So I'm just gonna do some rough shading. It's like, let me try to, you know, I don't want to make this too complicated that it's like, oh my god, it looks impossible to follow. No. I'm just coloring right now. Certain parts I would make it a little bit darker just by using a little bit more pressure on the pencil. If I were to spend a lot more time focusing on coloring, you know, I probably would also use, as I'm coloring, I'll probably use different techniques to create the feel of fur, but I don't want to make this drawing that complicated for now. If enough people want to see that, I can do that later. But right now I just have to color it in. And I'm leaving some spaces here white. Maybe it has a little bit of white fur. This is kind of random. You can put some different patterns of white fur here and there, where you would just make the coloring a little bit lighter. That's why I'm leaving this part and this part white for now. Cause I'm not sure how light I want the coloring to be at those spots. This part of the ear, maybe the outside of the ear, maybe I want to color it in. And I just want to give you an idea. So this part is not going to be super polished. Your drawing, you can literally see how it forms its shapes and different. You can actually just, as you draw, get new inspirations and change the direction of the drawing or shading certain way. At the beginning, you may not know exactly how you're gonna proceed. That's why it's important to just start. If you're not sure what to do, just start drawing. Because as you draw, you start to see shapes and form taking place. And then you start to just to be able to keep going with it. Like right now. See, the nose is right there. And here I want to go back in again. Now I have an idea. I'm just going to make it a little bit lighter. I don't want the fur to be completely like white. Maybe some parts, maybe. And I really, like, you think I'm, like, coloring with specific... I'm not really thinking too much about it. Like, I made this part a little bit darker, this part a little bit darker. But you can do it in all sorts of random ways and you'll still look cute. The tail, maybe I'll just add some more color to it. Maybe a little bit dark in the center. Or a little bit light in the center. Up to you. And now I'm going to switch to my black pencil. I tend to always leave the certain part of the joint, especially the belly. I tend to leave the fur a little bit lighter or white compared to elsewhere. And I'll use the black to make certain parts even darker to create that contrast. But I think we get the idea, so I'm not gonna go spend too long on this right now. Yeah, but you can just keep doing this and play around and your drawing will become more and more, or hopefully if you don't overdo it, right, your drawing will become more and more interesting. Under the head, maybe there's a little bit more shadow here towards the body, so I'm making it a little bit darker. And I don't want to do any more of that. I just don't want to make this too complicated. And all this stuff is kind of random. If you do it your way, it will still look good, I promise you. As long as you don't go overboard, like make the whole thing pitch black or something like that. Like a pure black squirrel. But, yeah. And maybe a little bit of shadow under the where he's sitting. I'm just going back and forwards. A little bit of shadow under the tail. And look at that. We have a cute little squirrel. Constructed from that original kind of a big circle and then a little body. A few lines here and there and some random, honestly, some random shading here and there. And suddenly it's a very cute picture that's a bit more, and it looks a little bit more advanced than just a pure line drawing with simple coloring. And all I did is just some random shading, honestly. Like if you want, you can make this part a little bit to show you what I mean, that I'm not doing anything special regarding shading. Like if I choose to make this part a little bit darker, see how the drawing still looks good? Hell, it might look even better. You know, just keep it consistent. I want to make this part like even darker, or maybe this part darker. Still looks fine. So just let your instinct guide you and have fun with it. Okay, I think this drawing is, we'll call it complete. And sometimes it's good to just leave things a little bit rough like this because it really adds a lot of style and personality to the drawing. Otherwise your drawing looks just like everybody else's drawing. You know, you want to kind of let your drawing stand out with your own style sometimes. Well, as you get advanced, as you get better, hopefully all the time, you want your drawing to stand out. So we'll finish the drawing by signing the drawing, and I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If it's a little bit too fast, feel free to slow it down. If there's something else you want to see, just let me know. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you enjoy my videos, and I'll see you guys next time. Not sure, I want to give this guy a name. Not sure what name I should call him. I'll think about it. Alright guys, see you next time.